We always hear about foods to avoid when it comes to preventing cavities. We know we need to avoid candy, we need to avoid those refined carbohydrates, those starchy foods, those acidic foods, because those acidic foods will lower the pH in your mouth and weaken your teeth. And also we want to avoid sticky foods, those foods that stick into those grooves in our teeth, because those will obviously cause cavities. But it's not really the foods that are causing cavities. Sugar and carbohydrates don't actually cause cavities. Instead, those sugars will actually feed these bacteria in your mouth, specifically a bacteria called Streptococcus mutans. And in turn, that bacteria will secrete these byproducts that are very acidic. These acidic byproducts are what sit on our teeth and cause these holes to form. So that's how our cavities actually form. So what are some foods that you can add to your diet now to make your teeth healthier? Well, the first is going to be pH balancing water. And not just water, really anything that is pH balancing. But oftentimes we see those water bottles that have an alkaline pH or a more basic pH level. And those may be a gimmick in some ways, but when it comes to restoring the pH in your mouth, they can definitely help. And this is especially helpful if you already have an acidic mouth. So pretty much any time you eat, your mouth is going to get more acidic. There are very few foods out there that will have a neutral pH in your mouth. Most foods have a lower or an acidic pH, or they will cause these bacteria again to secrete these acids that cause a lower pH in your mouth. In turn, when you have a lower pH in your mouth, your enamel will get weaker and it makes you more susceptible to getting cavities. So if someone has a more acidic mouth versus someone that has a neutral mouth, they could be eating the same things, doing the same things, but the person that has a more acidic mouth is going to automatically get more cavities. So having something that can pH balance your mouth or make it more alkaline can help balance out these acids and basically strengthen your teeth and prevent them from getting cavities. So just for some reference, your enamel, which is made up of these hydroxyapatite crystals, will start to demineralize at a pH of 5.5. Once it gets into your dentin, which is the inner layer of your tooth, then this will start to demineralize at about 6.5. So it doesn't need to be that acidic to start breaking down your dentin. And even your enamel, it doesn't have to be that acidic. Pretty much any drink other than water will have a pH low enough to start breaking down your enamel. Now, a quick side note, if your teeth are in contact with fluoride, then the outer layer of your teeth, your enamel, will actually change from hydroxyapatite to fluorapatite, because that fluorine ion and fluoride will replace that hydroxy ion in that hydroxyapatite crystal. And this will actually make your enamel stronger, and instead, you need a pH of about 4.5 to start demineralizing it. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna stick with hydroxyapatite because it can get a little too complicated. Now you can also try a pH balancing mouthwash. So one that I like is called Carie Free. You can get it pretty much anywhere. I get mine on Amazon. But this also has pH balancing, meaning it's a more basic pH level, and it can help dilute those acids. Now, when it comes to other healthy foods, you also want foods that will stimulate your saliva. Now, pretty much anything you eat will stimulate saliva production in your mouth, but you want foods that don't cause these negative effects of these acids or sugar, etc. And it's also important to time your meals properly. So the way I recommend doing it is ending your meals with these healthier foods for your teeth. Because instead, if you start off your meal with a healthier food for your teeth, and then you go on to have some sugar, etc., then it's gonna negate a lot of the benefits that you would get. So one really good food is cheese and other dairy products. These dairy products are high in both calcium and phosphorus. And in turn, it can help strengthen and remineralize our teeth. We talked before about how your enamel is made up of these hydroxyapatite crystals. And these crystals are composed of both calcium and phosphorus. So we need enough calcium and phosphorus in our diet to maintain healthy teeth. And we can get that from dairy. Now the second thing is getting your veggies. Now my favorite ones are leafy greens and crunchy. The crunchier the vegetable, the better it's gonna be for your teeth. So some really good ones are lettuce, broccoli, celery, carrots. All of these, first of all, will have this scrubbing action when you bite into them. So they will kind of act like a natural toothbrush when you eat them. And it's really good to end your meals with these because it's gonna help basically clean your teeth. Now, the second benefit you get from these vegetables is you get a lot of benefits that will actually strengthen your teeth and your gums. So again, we get calcium, but we also get vitamins A, C, D, K, and a lot of B vitamins. All of these will help promote healthier teeth and also help promote healthier support structures of your teeth. So the gums, and the bones that surround your teeth as well. And you also get folic acid or vitamin B9 from these vegetables, which again can also promote healthy gums and prevent gum disease. The next food on my list is fruits. Now, we often hear that fruits have a lot of sugar in them and they can possibly cause cavities. Well, the difference with fruits versus a normal candy is fruits have a lot of fiber. And this fiber is very protective to your teeth. And actually, studies show that the fiber in these fruits actually help prevent them from causing cavities. So one of the best fruits are apples. One, because of their fiber content, but also the scrubbing action again. So when you bite into apples and you start chewing them, they basically clean your teeth and act as a natural toothbrush. I'd also recommend adding strawberries and raspberries. Now, the benefits of these, and also with apples, is you get xylitol. And this actually brings me to my next food, which is xylitol. So xylitol is basically this natural sweetener that can replace sugar. But the cool thing about xylitol is it can actually prevent cavities. Now, this is really important because pretty much any different sugar alcohol out there can still cause cavities to some degree, even though much smaller than sugar will, but they can still potentially cause cavities. Xylitol, on the other hand, is the only one that actually prevents cavities. So my favorite way to incorporate this is as chewing gum. Chewing gum that has xylitol after meals is a great way to promote saliva, which can help clean your teeth, but also you get the xylitol, which is an added bonus. Now, the last food on my list are nuts and seeds. You probably guessed one benefit you get from these. Again, it's the crunchiness. Anything that is basically crunchy that doesn't involve carbohydrates is going to be really good for your teeth. And again, ending your meal with this is good because it stimulates saliva, but they also don't promote cavities. You also get a lot of healthy fats and protein in nuts. And you need these to help repair and build healthy gums and teeth as well. And you get a ton of calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D, which are all really important and interconnected. We know that calcium is important because, one, it's an integral part of our bones and also our teeth, so you need calcium to have healthy enamel. But you also need enough vitamin D when you want to get enough calcium, because vitamin D is going to be what determines how much calcium gets absorbed. And the phosphorus we talked about before actually combines with calcium to make that mineral structure in your teeth. Now, the best thing to do would be, again, to time your meals correctly so you can end your meals with a lot of these foods. But if you combine it with actually eliminating a lot of foods that cause cavities, like eliminating a lot of the acidic beverages from your diet and also a lot of sweets and refined carbs and starchy foods, then you're really going to be good in preventing cavities. Or you could also adjust the timing of the bad meals in your diet. So for example, if you like to have Mountain Dew throughout the day, instead of sipping on it throughout the day, or even your coffee, sipping on it throughout the day, instead having it in one sitting within about 30 minutes, that's really going to go a long way in preventing cavities. Because when you sip on something throughout the day, then you're constantly introducing those sugars and those acids into your mouth and constantly weakening your teeth. But instead, if you have it just in one sitting, now you're giving your saliva time to wash that all away and basically restore that pH in your mouth. It doesn't matter if you have a whole can of soda versus just one sip. Your pH is still going to be affected at that time, but if you have the whole thing at once and you don't have to have it throughout the rest of the day, now at least you give your saliva time to clean it all away. And the same thing comes with snacking. Avoid snacking on chips and other refined carbohydrates or starchy foods that will stick around in your teeth and also feed those bad bacteria in your mouth and potentially cause more cavities. Instead, try snacking on some of the foods I mentioned in this list that don't actually cause cavities. So cheese, vegetables, fruits, nuts, all of these are going to be much better snacks. Can sleeping be the key to prevent diabetes? Well, if you're eating a ton of carbs and sugar every day, then probably not. But surprisingly, it can make a really big difference. Now, specifically, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. Let's face it, most people right now do not value their sleep enough. Whether it's not getting enough sleep because you have to